What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Fireside Rangers. I'm your host, Anthony Rivardo, joined by my co-host, Eric Wilson, and the New York Rangers are back on track with a win last night over the Capitals. 5-3 win versus Washington. Mika Zibanejad with 2 goals. Igor Shesterkin with an assist. Beautiful pass down the ice. Panarin passing it into Mika. It was a lot of fun. And, of course, Patrick Kane with his first goal at MSG. It was a really exciting game and a great performance from the New York Rangers. We were talking in our previous episode about the funk that the Rangers were in. Their offense wasn't scoring points. Well, they responded to our podcast by putting up 5 goals on the same day that we posted it. I'm not complaining, though. That was really awesome to see. It was a great game last night. But, Eric, let's go ahead and dive into a little bit of a game recap and talk about what went right for the offense and how they can continue to keep this success about. But before we dive into all that, please make sure to leave a like if you do enjoy this episode and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Without further ado, Eric, how are you doing today coming off of that win last night?
I mean, it feels good. It's the Rangers' first regulation win in like God knows how long. It's been a little bit since we had like a nice solid performance overall from the team right there. And we got to see it on Disney Channel when everyone was animated, and it looked really weird. It's a great marketing tactic, NHL. You really did something there, didn't you? But yeah, no, I'm done just complaining about that. Overall, very good game. It's good to see that Mika March is back in full effect. Of course, Patrick Kane, like you mentioned, first goal at MSG. We had 10 different players on the team record a point. So overall, very solid performance.
Extremely solid performance. All right, I'll go through the points once again. Mika Zibanejad with 2 goals. Tarasenko had an assist. Panarin had an assist. Igor had an assist. Kane, 1 goal and 1 assist. Love to see that he is fitting in super well and putting up a lot of points on a consistent basis. Adam Fox, 1 assist. Trocheck, 2 assists. 1 goal out of Trouba. 1 goal out of VC. Miller with an assist as well. They went 1 for 2 on the power play and 4 for 4 on the penalty kills. So really impressive showing from the Rangers offense last night. But Eric, let's talk about the power play. 1 for 2 there. A few games ago, they had an 0 for 4 performance, and we discussed how they're not making it far if they don't fix their power play. But last night, 50% on the power play. Only had 2 opportunities, but they've been okay on the power play lately. But a good showing last night. So Eric, what are your thoughts on the power play from the New York Rangers?
I mean, I think it looks really good last night. Obviously, Patrick Kane had the power play goal. And overall, recently in the last couple of games since Gerard Gallant made that change, it's looked pretty solid. And like we were saying, on paper, we have like the greatest power play unit like in the league right now. But the first power play line was really good, and then the second one wasn't really contributing anything. So that's why Gerard Gallant made that change, switched it up. So now we have 2 just like above average, like balanced power play lines, and it's been working. And it's good to see that the penalty kill is also doing well. Tyler Mott, one of our newer acquisitions as well, is a huge part of that. He's one of the best penalty killers on the team, if not the best. And overall, not just special teams, they performed very well, and that's what we're going to need going into the playoffs. We can't be letting other teams score like a bunch of power play goals on us, and we just need to keep scoring on them. And that's how you make it deep in the playoffs and win a cup.
Yeah, and so we had another line switch up last night. We previewed that in yesterday's episode. Fourth line looked great last night. I mean, you had points coming from the first line and the fourth line primarily. VC with a goal. He played really well, and he has been playing pretty good. But when you look at that first line, though, Eric, which had Panarin, Tarasenko, and Zibanejad, that's pretty much where all your points came from for the most part. I mean, Panarin with an assist, Tarasenko with an assist, Zibanejad with 2 goals. What are your thoughts on that line? Is that something that you think that the Rangers should stick with for the time being, or do you think eventually we want to see those original lines with Panarin and Kane back on the second come back into the fold?
I mean, for now, if it's working, don't change it. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Obviously, everyone on that first line recording points. Even the second line performed really well with Kane having 2 points. Trocheck had 2 points as well. It was just Kreider that didn't get any points last night right there. And really the only line that just didn't perform was just the kid line. But we know, we've discussed in recent episodes, that they are going through a little bit of a slump right now. Philip Heedle's on a little bit of a goal drought, but Lafreniere's looked solid. It's like the kids didn't play bad. They just didn't score. But when the rest of your team puts up 5 goals, it's okay if one line doesn't really contribute to the scoring sheet right there. So overall, these lines have been looked really good, especially the first line. Second line has been looking good. Patrick Kane's finally fitting in with the Rangers, getting points like the superstar that we knew that he was. And so, yeah, no, keep it for now. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I'm really happy to see Panarin make a really nice pass yesterday over to Zibanejad for a goal. We were talking in yesterday's episode how Panarin hasn't been himself lately, but it looks like he's starting to ease back in. Maybe it was just about splitting him up with Kane and keeping those guys on separate lines for the time being until they settle into their own and get over the whole, aura of having the reunion between the two of them. Patrick Kane had a good quote from last night, though. He said, quote, "It was great. The building was on fire tonight. Obviously, second game here. It's entertainment. It's a show here. You see all the people at the game. It's pretty special." End quote. Eric, how important do you think it is for Patrick Kane's confidence and performance? How important is it that he got that goal and finally got his first home win with the Rangers last night?
Yeah, I mean, Patrick. I don't think Patrick Kane's the type of guy to like be like too nervous or just lose confidence over a couple of games. He's been around the league for a very long time, but it's definitely one of those things that was on his mind, just like, when am I going to score this goal? And it's great to see him like not take too terribly long. It's only been like 5-6 games since we got him. Most players around the league are going to take a lot longer to really get settled into their team. For the rest of the season. You were thinking about last year, it took Kopp and Vetrano like especially long. It was like they really didn't heat up too much until the playoffs started. But Tarasenko's fitting in getting points. Kane's fitting in getting points. Not so much on the points, but that's not his job. He's doing his job perfectly down there on the fourth line. So it's really looking like these trade acquisitions we got at the deadline this year, they're already making magic happen, and that's a very good sign because it can only go up from here basically.
Yeah, and one other thing that I want to, discuss is kind of like the inconsistent play from the Rangers. Like, it was a great performance last night. They put up 5 goals, 2 of those in the third period, but that second period was pretty slow. Even Gerard Gallant said that, quote, "The first period was outstanding. After that, it was okay, but it was much better than the previous game. We got a little too cute," end quote. So what are your thoughts on that quote from Gerard Gallant? Do you feel like the Rangers maybe did get a little bit too cute at times during the game? And how do they maintain that consistency, hot start in the first period all the way through to the end?
I mean, yeah, it definitely looked a little bit slower, not the greatest period we've ever seen, but that's kind of something that just naturally happens in hockey. If a team comes out and dominates in the first period, they're going to be tired going into the second, while the other team is just getting heated up, ready to make a comeback. So it's just one of those unfortunate situations that we see, but it is something that the Rangers do kind of need to work on. At the beginning of the season, we were a very good like first 2 period team, and we kept collapsing there at the end. And then towards the middle stage of the season, we became like tied for third most comeback wins in the league. And we kept being a really good third period team and would start off slow. And like last game was the second period that held us down. But if you want to go deep in the postseason, you need to play a full 60 minutes every game, like every single day. So it's one of those things where it's just if you're down, don't let it shake you to the point where you just give up. But if you're up, just keep playing at that level and don't take a step down and get fancy and too cute. Just keep playing the way you've been playing, and that's how you win hockey games.
Yep, 100%. And the Rangers could totally use another win tomorrow. They will be facing off with the Penguins at 7 p.m. Super excited for that game. Eric, going into that game, what's the key to finding the victory?
I think it's really just defense. It's already been confirmed that Ryan Lindgren won't be returning to the lineup. I knew this was coming. The second Gerard Gallant said that his injury was day to day, I knew it would be weeks. We're on like week 3 without him now. So keeping the defense in check is going to be a big thing. Pittsburgh's obviously one of those teams that has a lot of offensive star power. And obviously our offense is just as good, if not better. They're definitely better. But we got to just see if our better offense will be able to just outpace our kind of mediocre defense at the moment while we wait for Lindgren's return.
Yeah, and talking about the defense, what are your thoughts on Igor Shesterkin? 3 goals against last night, .903 save percentage. I mean, we've seen him have much better performances than that in the past, and honestly, much higher save percentages in the past. And when you take a look at how he's played over the last few weeks, there has been a few sore spots in that lineup. I mean, kind of inconsistent. A couple of those goals yesterday, at least one of them, I know he was screened. I wouldn't even blame him on that one at all. But what are your thoughts on Shesterkin and the way that he's played in recency?
I think he's been fine. Obviously, there's like you mentioned, there's a couple goals every once in a while. They're like, all right, Igor, you should have had that. But like overall, you just look at like a 3 goals against .903 save percentage. It's not bad, but it's not like superstar either. But that's what's going to happen when you're playing on a team that doesn't have like their full defensive core. And I say this like every episode now, but Ben Harper and Nico Mikkola should not be getting like as much ice time as they are. So again, it's just one of those things where as soon as Lindgren comes back, his numbers are going to go back up. He can't do everything himself back there.
Yeah, and I wonder if, we'll see much better performances out of defense, of course, when Lindgren does come back. And Trouba also had a solid performance last night. He scored a goal. I mean, that's not really defensively, but he played well. But I think that, looking ahead to this Penguins game, the defense, you're right, that is the key. Defense needs to turn it around. If they don't, could get a little bit ugly down the stretch here. I don't want to see the Rangers get into too many shootouts where they have to win, 5-4, anything like that. I'd rather see the goalies and the defenders really step up their game here. But we'll see how it goes tomorrow night against the Penguins, 7 p.m. And, of course, tomorrow morning we'll be hitting you with another episode. Going to keep them coming, so make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new and ring the bell so you don't miss any of these episodes. Please leave a like if you did enjoy this episode. We'll catch you on the next one. Have a good one. And let's go Rangers.
Rangers.
TVSO.